Hi, I'm Duncan McLean here with Dan McCue, Hope College grad, class of '99. Dan's here with us from Grinnell, Iowa. There he's employed by Grinnell Mutual as a online marketing specialist. Thanks for being here, Dan.
Thanks. Pleasure to be here.
So you've moved on from your Hope communication degree into the marketing standpoint of communication. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah. As an online marketing specialist at Grinnell Mutual, there are three primary responsibilities. First is I manage our social media presence on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. We blog. So writing the content and then also monitoring for activity and also customer engagement. We have, our company has 250 member mutuals and 1,700 independent agents, and a lot of these are small business people that are focused on running a successful, profitable business, aren't as tuned into trends and the best practices for marketing and social media. So we have a digital coach program where I write articles and offer webinars to teach some of the tactics and then also some of the best practices for marketing online and on websites through social media. And then the third part is sort of that reporting, analyzing, seeing what we're doing well, how we can improve online, and then also monitoring our competitors, monitoring some of the larger trends that are going on so that we are, we're part of that wave, but not falling too far behind or too far astray from some of the things that are happening in terms of how our culture and how people are using social media and web.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So how you graduated from Hope back in the day before we had this lovely studio?
Yes, back in Lubbers.
Not too far. Back in Lubbers.
It feels like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Looking back at, this is just a fantastic space. You and the fellow students here at Hope are so fortunate, whether it's the Anchor WTHS studio, this lab, it's light years ahead of what we had 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, we have gotten very lucky in the past couple of years with updates. So were there any specific moments at Hope or experiences that got you interested in communication or marketing?
Yeah, there were a few things. When I was looking at schools, I wasn't necessarily looking to become a communication major, but I did want to go to a school that had a newspaper and a radio station. Back in the 90s, radio stations were still kind of a big deal. That's changed a little bit now with podcasting and streaming content. But so with Hope, they had a great science program, great music program, but then also had campus radio station with active student involvement and a great campus newspaper. So it wasn't until my sophomore year when I realized that I was not cut out to be a scientist and that I didn't want to be a performer or music educator, that I went, oh my goodness, I've helped out with writing some articles for the Anchor. I've been a DJ on WTHS. Maybe I should be a communication major. So there I was. I also had some help from campus employment. The Phonathon program was my main campus job all 4 years. And so when I started, it was just a program that was a few weeks in the fall and the spring, and they went to a year-round program, or year-round meaning the full school year. My sophomore year, and so I was a student supervisor, and then that led to an internship with a company out of state and an internship with the advancement office here at Hope my senior year. So, which then led to working in fundraising as my first career out of school. But the lessons that I learned from writing for the Anchor, being a DJ, being on air, and then also being a Phonathon caller. I mean, the value of talking to someone and listening to their stories, kind of like you're doing right now. Hearing their stories, connecting their experience, in that case with a clear call to action. I mean, that's what I do every day with my work now at Grinnell Mutual. It's thinking about tapping into that sense of emotion and experience, but driving that to a call to action that we want them to do, whether that's to click to read more information, to share with a customer or a policyholder, or to contact an agent and get a quote.
It's a really awesome testament to all the benefits you can receive from the liberal arts style of education that we offer here at Hope,
Yeah.
rather than going somewhere, a bigger university, to get a very focused degree.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty cool. So following Hope, you had your first career in fundraising.
Exactly.
But then you decided to go to grad school. You got your master's from UNLV.
I did.
Can you tell us some pros and cons for people who are thinking maybe grad school, maybe who just want to like get straight into their career?
Yeah, yeah. I think there's always a desire for all of us to kind of say, oh, what's the model, and to try and fit that mold. I think the better way to go, it's certainly something that I have in my experience, but then also something that I preach when I'm talking to agents and mutuals, is step back and ask yourself, what are your goals? What are your objectives for your career? And for all of us, that's going to be a different answer. And then make decisions, set goals for yourself based on what you're trying to do. So for me, let me get to the applying it to my master's experience.
Okay.
But for me, the work that I want to do, I want to help others. I want to help them be successful. I'm also, in one of my experiences at Hope, taught me the value of community, servant leadership. And so that desire to serve others, that desire to serve the community, to offer a greater good, that's something that's very important. And the work that my company does, I certainly have that opportunity. And then also to help our agents, our mutuals, fellow employees be successful in telling their own stories. That's something I get to do. In my career, I knew that I wanted to get a master's degree at some point, but I didn't know what that would look like at the time. Okay. And after working professionally for a couple of years, I had an opportunity to step into the program at UNLV. And it was a great fit. The challenge was I didn't really want to know what I wanted to do with the degree, which goes back to that desire for objectives. So I did the 7-year plan. And so I did all of my coursework, wrote some papers that I thought might turn into thesis, and they just didn't. I was trying too hard to fit it into a hole. And so literally the last class I took, I was at a point where I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't write a thesis. Maybe I should just do a exam out. But a class that I'd taken after I'd gone back to full-time employment, first paper was just write a page on anything, really. I mean, it was very open-ended. I was like, Daily Show, yeah, I'll just write a pager about Daily Show. And, one of the things you learn at Hope is, you can pretty much write one-page paper on anything, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it came very easily, and then that turned into, could I write, probably a longer length paper to propose something for the term paper at the end of the semester, and that's what I did. That paper turned into my prospectus, and my committee made some great recommendations on a shift in how I was gathering the data. I was looking in my prospectus at a week's worth of episodes of The Daily Show against NBC Nightly News, and more of a content analysis. And they were like, this is nice, but this is not, The Daily Show isn't a straight up parody of the nightly news. It's something deeper. And I didn't quite understand what they were getting at the time, but as I did the research for the paper, I came to realize that. So there's more to that story, but the short version, kind of pursuing my passions, that's another thing that I think is important, learned here at Hope, important for all of us to do, is just to be aware of what inspires you, what keeps your energy going even when the work is hard. And once I found a paper, once I found a topic that continued to energize me, that really played to my strengths, played to my interests, that was a lot more successful. And so, so it took a few extra years to finally get that done. I wouldn't recommend it. Go in knowing what you want at the end. That's what my wife did in her master's program. It worked a lot better for her.
Well, hey, that kind of illustrates no assignment is too small.
That's right. That's right. You never know.
A thesis.
That's right. That's right.
So I guess in closing, any final tips you could give to communication managers, people who are interested in marketing, or even just good life tips?
Yeah, good life tips. Brush your teeth. No.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I think the important thing is going back to that objectives. Kind of knowing when someone says, what do you want to do when you grow up, or what do you want to do when you graduate, I think we can put that kind of a question in a box. I think maybe a better question might be, what is the kind of person that you want to become? And giving yourself time as a student, maybe once a semester, maybe again in the summer when you're not focused on term papers,
Fair enough.
to really reflect on that. But I think that's a much better way to orient your thinking about who you are and what you want to become, rather than what do you want to do when you grow up or what you want to do when you graduate. I have the pleasure of working with great people, doing really engaging work. It's hard work. Sometimes the hours are unusual. When you get a customer concern coming in on Twitter at supper time with the kids, and you have to peel yourself away from dinner. I mean, that's a challenge. But then it's given me the opportunity to do some really amazing things. And my experience at Hope, I mean, I've just been really blessed with the experiences, what fellow students, faculty, staff here, they helped set me on a path that has exceeded my expectations of what I could do of myself.
Awesome. It's good to know it worked out for somebody.
Yeah, that should work out.
Encouraging.
It should work out for everybody.
I'm sure it will. Well, thanks for being with us
All
today.
right, Duncan,
Great
it was a
interview.
pleasure. Thanks so much.
Pleasure was mine. Duncan McLean here with Dan McCue for Hope College.